All right. Well, I tried to use a clip it for like a 2 minute recording, and it's just like upload failed, 250 megabytes on 2 minutes. So I have time. I know it's a new year. I'm gonna first say thank you to a few people. Um, First one is the first male figure I considered and started to try to trust and believe, and I still hold up to verify and check, is a father, person that I considered confidentially and met with, and as an individual, strictly, the agency, the organization, Federal Bureau of Investigations, but stunted, and at growth, simply the FBI. The other would be an actual person I've actually came to trust and believe, who's just a cop. Who's actually raised me in prior times, into stress and regeneration. Thank you for the coffee, creamer. Where a mother or a female figure, but really a mom, and not just that. She's Latina, which but someone that I could put on a pedestal, a real ballerina, a real woman, someone I actually promise, no matter what, is my I trust in her, and I care that she listens and is aware of me, and I still to this day have found that she, in her simplicity, is the only person that I could possibly have ever ran into that could be a lady dash hyphen woman figure, or a lady figure, who's taking care of me, who has come to aid me, and at least really, I really found that in this one girl. Her name is Dover. She's just a cop, just a real cop. But moreover, she's a soldier. I've been with her through H1N1, nuclear disaster, Greenboro, Russia. The object of land still stands in Guilford, Connecticut. And I've seen her recently, and I've gotten to confide in her. And then another one more person I would just love to thank is my guardian angel, my wish from a watchtower. Besides Taylor Swift, who one day thought there might be a God out there creating something magnificent, only to find mayhem and doom impending upon him. Came to at least try to stay, and I'll thank her for sticking that out. But Victoria Marilyn Million, the judge, first and foremost in the final chamber, although I may be that final judge at the table, who has continued to foster and fund and anoint appropriate resources, especially during some of the Halo events, the final coming down to terms. Some people I'd like to mention that just are really great, that I met, because in this world we have slim picking, and some of us are always here, but some of us come at a cost. The first one is Natasha Pravancher of the National Army Military Inception National Alliance for Mental Illness, Constitutionally Incapable Practice, servicewoman, Nasha Catherine, Cy Gypsy, Dexter, Rebecca Segui alike, my wife Maya Mata Marnett, who, during some of the events, her alter ego, or possibly herself, I couldn't tell, but maybe, is now a commissioner, Harley Quinn, alongside the Joker, but a commissioner of the army, not to say the least, at most, infected at the time, but came to show, another side of herself, completely immune that I've never seen. And that's where some of that content stems from. Sharky and the Nun. Nature, Nicole, Natalie, who, when last year I was roadkill, hit by a car, dead in the bed, multiple oncoming, but not injured, totally prepared for in a freak accident, believed to be premeditative vehicular manslaughter for the purpose of the inheritance of the Baron's fortune, 5 investments of the Y, the Wyatt, the letter Y, a man named the Yen, the Yin Yang, and the Richard, and the Secretary of Treasury, who rehabilitated me back to health, who saw another side of me that most people are getting to know now that, we have the advice that we will no longer have to at some point repress our personalities and can become ourselves. Mine's only about 8 months old. But just, briefly notice that I would wait like I was asked. And I would tell you, when I was, what I would be told if, on the other hand, I did not know, to be patient. And I was a patient, Kimberly Swan's patient in the 5th floor, 5th section, 5th unit, 5th critical, 5th care, and the 5th unit there, the string of 6. And for the structural, restructural, respinal, and reskeletal transplant, at this point believed to be witnessed and seen by the black widow spider, who at the time noticed some premonitive and attacked me, but at this point surrendered the poison while I went down in Roswell. But in Woodstock on South Nance and Wiley Bridge was completely ran over at a point when about 6 a.m. Sometime in June, believed to be the 14th or the 16th of June, 6 a.m. 2016, where people thought they might have picked up on the trace or the scent of God. And that just being, having to take it all away so that someone else didn't steal it, and take the name, and I'm dead, but the resources are left. I told the nurses there were 52 different oncoming, road ragers at the time, and it was just, I went under. I wasn't on epilepsy medication. I had been misfostered. I did write something about, I did not record. I did record about the patient seen at the family practice in Guilford, who was found military records and starved, maybe fed once, twice, 3 times, maybe 6 times in total, 6.5 times, maybe about 12 with the fast food and the pizza, and maybe in a total of 21 years in the care of these parental caretakers who had split personalities that I made by quantum for development. When I regenerated, when I came home from molecularitis, starvation, sleep deprivation, dehydration, fed me only about 20 times over the course of 21 years, and give or take 30 different times, so maybe once a year, getting something to eat with them in total at all, and then giving me the coal genetic regeneticist assistant inoculation, which was the first after a year of trying to get to the family practice for the appointment, who are abusing a lot of different resources and useful things. So I think Edward Arendit Alice Cortana Jr. Of the University CITY of Antwerp of Switzerland, the highest, the Titan magnet school, magnitude school, over Xavier, the tectonic magnitude school, and the other magnitude schools, which are Zeta, who was my gifted scholar and professor and protector of studies, who stayed with me during the time when I was living with them, and stayed with her, the psychotic lady. And when Nasha, Gypsy, Natasha, Pravancher, Catherine came, Kathleen, Lot, it's crazy, Zebra Lot, or was it Zebra Illit or something like that? It's a crazy name. But she came and Mary, technically Victoria Marilyn Million came to visit. Jacqueline Zebra and Carolyn Lott came to visit and saw the level of abuse and neglect, and had to make up code words, because as I taught them, it would be like every minute and 17 twelfths of a second, on the interval of 2 minutes, at a ratio of 6, you would be diverted of your attention and stifled of any intention and of attitude toward your idea, completely abolished, and toward psycho, in the back room, in the back hall of the worst, most desolated areas, and infested with crazy, just never seen again, no one ever heard or went or saw, and you'll never get out, told to my face during that time. I met Dee, and Dee's been with me for 2 years. Dee helped me not bring down the Kawasaki. Yes, you are. Right at that time, I had that bargain wager, you're shilling for Drac, for Dram, for you want me to torture February 22nd. It's like, well, I want to meet that. I'm not going to go near genitals, teeth, or eyes. I'm not going to be sadistic, but I'm telling you the truth, these people are sadistic. Around every corner, you see someone going around. I'm in the house that Cameron used to live in Atlanta, while I was across the street with the parents, supposedly, that were teaching her to believe this. And I'll say again, as in 3 P9E, or excuse me, E 9P3, radioactive prototypical 11 usage, just I had them arrested and loss of privileges, suspension, and banned. When we looked into what their real motive for modem operandum motive is, just, I'm making like a free recording here, because if I clip it, just killed my uploadability. And like I was getting paid, to make those recordings. Originally, I was making like $1,500 for like 7 minutes. And I was like commuting down here to assist in the prostitution investigation, which is a constitution rights violation of not issuing suspensions of privileges and loss of thereof, lack of permission to participate in the activities scheduled for a lifestyle like banishment, but instead confinement, which is against Commandment 11. And so let me think. So it started with communication. I realized there's a serious mortal danger aspect in the clinical behavioral disengagement, that if you're going to react to something, that's the first thing. But there's three things you notice, and when those two go out the door, you're looking at an extinction pattern. So I'm going slow as I can for my textbook epidemiology certification. I'm already drafted, so people, I mean, I think they don't know. In the OST, the Only Survivor Train, every medium of any timeline universally and omnipotently and incorporally, ultrafinity, like the infinity ultimatum, only the gifted will survive. Every single point on that scale, like it's crystal fucking meth. It gets dealt in shards. Like every single point is very, 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 very fucking important and drastic, and free radicals. And people with the free will, the ability to have their free power within them, who will roam, outside the circle of trust, and then find those quaint. Let me put it to you this way. If I were to bore myself a slave, turn myself in, for some objective reason that I could be sold into and then back to life, I would be there based upon my entire spectrum of, in terms, range, of bad things, of good things, of worse things, of great things. And providence is in providing provisions, offers, and I would be there for that entire duration. Now, here's another aspect. Aspect two. If I was to serve in a nuclear holocaust, typically, I'm the only boot. I am immune. I'm Wyatt just did it. So Wyatt just did get up after the bomb drop. And I have built the dormitory and sanctuary, anarchy, arches, atriums for people to get in, to retract their bodily quarters into another's, witness that person. But there are ones that they've designed that knock us into oblivion, into spatial drift. And they come just like a drug induces in the mind. It's hard to describe. It's man-made. It's like a narcotic. And it's in order to reap the rewards of whatever that person began to provide and guard and keep and offer and not try to reap, but it's in order to take with that person's assets, like that person's property, their education, their experience. And for whatever more they would have got out of it, they'll try to equal up to the same standing that person, and also just pocket and coin the term. But it's just like saying you can't be violent in this world, because at the given point, you'll get so close to committing treason, adultery, and you'll get so close to hurting yourself, realizing the loss of that person's, and it never really gets, because we've eliminated, neutralized through those means. So if they section off the war zone and they secure the perimeter and they send me through it, I'm going to do it to its fullest extent. Whether there's nothing out there, there's to nourish myself with. I mean, I've been turned, terminate, like Terminator, like with an ER, like whatever, Terminator, like why it can be robotic and why it can automatron retract back to an organic state. So I'm compatible, but I'm compatible for what is set forth in the words to be what's best. And if it is subtracting, like it's hurting, I mean, it's not what's best. But they do this, once they do one thing wrong, and it's illegal, it's criminal. It's on the crimson radar. It's against the vitality. It's boring without pardon. It deserves consequence. It deserves conviction. It deserves confession. Or depression. Excuse me. It deserves retract confession. Retire to deserves and these things go on long enough where we have to make preparations, countermeasures, surgeonary revive per shot per insurgenist on the field versus insurrectionist counter terrorist versus terrorists. And things may be calm now, but things that go around come around. And so, like I'm saying, once that consequence derives from their action, and once the wrong is instilled by violence, misled, let me think of the word, basically theft, or abuse and neglect. Once that body does that, the body will never be the same. It always lives in fear and shame and remorse. And, it's part of patent discourse that you get off course and get off track and you paid too much. And I had to pay too much. I may be suffering, from the evolutional challenge that I can't turn away from. They put the faculty member in charge of functional operations, and then your eyes and ears belong to someone else, and it's like you're on restriction, you're their property. It's like you're not 18. You don't have property. Even if you get introduced to this world and you do it yourself and you come up with a name, you draft a resume, you come up with an interview, you do all that, and then your label lights up, and there you are. You introduce yourself. You start to wake up other parts. You try to provide more relatives on your own. It's aosis, not atosis. It's meiosis, not mitosis. It's hexastasis, not hetero homo. It's hybrid, stabilize, neutralize, and move on. And once I can go out there for so long, there's no handle on the gauge for your mortal, for it to incur a difference, and that's different. That can hurt. Your body can regress. It's called regression, and there's verbal regression, and that's one of the first things you'll notice is that chatterbox, that nunchuck, whatever, that cheese aching fucking geister, what is it? That person that keeps fucking with you, or fucking with you, just getting fucking angry. And not necessarily angry, more like you can tell there's something fucking sick about him or something fucking wrong. And those people will go on to Billabong, all the way to Babylon, and never stop and continue. And then they find that the next time they want something, they want to do that one bad thing. Because it's the last thing they did that changed everything, that made them only be able to enjoy that or using someone. So if you think this is why it's useful. If you take Wyatt out of the equation, it's just useful. It doesn't have any prefix definition. You take out the whole dictionary when you take me out. So doing that to me, putting me all the way back there, that lady's pretty fucking bad. She's out there. They're the Petrushwitzes. I fucking destructed them. Chase, he's impursuitable, but I still took care of his ass. I didn't want Rendonarian running around. So a level 3 situation. It's like saying right now she, because that's best if a woman were to address that topic. Or right now he, and the tail governs the rest of it. It's not up to you at that point. If you know that, it's just up to you to act at that point. The less you turn to action and practice and remember and then train and teach and repeat thoughts and turn the gears, the more they start to get stuck and they bulge and some of them break hinges. And at some point they just don't work anymore. You need to keep working. So you need to keep repeating until it's muscle. It's not muscle. It's internal recognition. It can always be picked right back up and left off where you last thought. I mean, I did an episode about it before where it's like you can only really pick up progress where you last left off at. If you can make more than what you just had, then you'll keep adding to each bar that, but that's the most important thing. So I address you today correctly to say a level 3 OST, only survivor trained situation, is when that happens. The restriction, the eyes and ears of the operation is put in the functional faculty member of the government and military, and an OST operative most likely has to bring you into their sanctum, into where their thought process is by privacy invasion, kind of use one of those questionnaire survey things later about Tycoon and Chagrin, the new internet and server it's being provided on. So like the grid is a Shea grid, and the internet is like a Tycoon. It's all done. I mean, it's so that all the missing link on the Apache and progress bar, missing information is written in. It's there now. You can use it. I just didn't go public. I launched it. It straight up is online. Like all the new shit that's coming out right now, you have to get like the newer shit, or your shit basically falls fucking apart because it's recycling. So you'll have to teach yourself to also recycle, and then fight back. It's up to you. I can't do it all myself. But a level 3 situation means people forgot to recognize, like adults see what another adult's seeing in their fucking eyes, in their fucking head, and they get really fucking mature. And I'm trying to make a New Year's resolution to do the adulting part of maturing, where I go really slow and I take every checkpoint confidential. I confide to derive the next sentiment. And sacrilege can be corrected. It's done in a library, a table of contents, an archive. You index the solution. The problem is only the questionable and unclear result of the factual truth that this journey, this endeavor that you're taking, does not prove 100% successful. So you always have to stay away from it. Now, I noticed that, and that means you didn't notice or address it, and that's bad. That means your health is at risk. And, paraplegic, perpetual, parasympathetic, or whatever, paraplegic. They're sadistic faction, so satisfaction, that's a prior authorization. Georgia Department of Community Health, Artifact Library, exit number ID 222-11366-7047. 0410-17, issue date WRB, Wyatt'Siberia, and GMCF, government military, classified confidential information link, facilitator Optum RX, BIN number 001533 RX PCM, prior confirmation name, GAM, government and military, Gambitson, GAMBITSON, government and military agent, Optum prior auth. Contact 1-866-525-5827 if you have any other questions. Versus underground transient doomsday DD construct.
PO Box 1159, Cops, double VHY 0106, Violet, VIOLET, FBI 47239, Gray, GRAEY, CIA 846538, Soldier 8120, WMBR, member EPA, Tunnel Vision Classified, 3 words to remember like water ball pencil. So if I tell you right now, remember 3 words, and at the next time we talk, I want to ask you if you remember these things. 3 things. Practice, repeat, and remember. Will you remember these 3 words the next time I ask you? And I say, if I ask you, be able to remember, practice, repeat, and remember the next time I talk to you. Mine were EPSA, Tunnel Vision, and Classified. So that's a long time. Same size. 3039-445-267-700-49650. Obviously, I have to target myself here, but
that's just how it is. Original release of information, ORI, original signature, authorization, or release of information, date of birth, -0, -0, beginning 0, prehistoric 0, -0, subtract 0, add on -111-01991, login, the Holy Spirit wine, 808 1159 1201 1200 1200, the Holy Spirit wine, tag hybridiums, register as IANMS, register M, the Matrix will find you, absentication, name, records, and history, free source script, Apache server, application, progress bar, questionnaire, survey, missing link, and answers, Tycoon Chagrin, online activity, code word good luck, password to be out of, do as he says, circa gram, update his allergy information to do not disturb the sacred resting grounds with the allergies, Celexa, Risperdal, and Dimercaprol, meaning anything that treats shape-shifting metal, retractionary Gaian catalog with, poison of lead substances, aka as known as Belino, Kilometh, or Ointocube, analogs in Vega, as in anything that you put in before expiration, fermentation, or doesn't superficial, and Depakote note, Dilantin, Orontin, Navian, and Zyprexa, Stetson Pocket Doctor, subscription, Wi-Fi to Red Book Pharmacy, formaldehyde, OxyContin, ether, and cryo, Zyphos, Omega, Nifos, and Epifos, Stat, superficial res, XP, NJC, T759846. So English to American, Violet, Wyatt'Siberia, Yin Yang, Yen of the firm, from symbology to alphabetical Y. Because I care. My universal vow, no matter what, I promise, no matter what, I'm never leaving you. No matter what I promise, no matter what, I'm never giving up on you. I promise no matter what I promise, I'm never giving up on you, no matter what I promise, I promise no matter what, I love you, because I believe in you, no matter what, I promise no matter what. Purely, you have invested time, effort, money, and resources in me, in my case. Because I continue to live and breathe and survive, as well I earn and spend, and I will be here to create and finish and serve and protect. If I am why it's working, helping, possible, happens, just did it, just can, or in the example, and film our record and light up our manual input. And film our record and light up our manual input, and one of you goes missing, I do not have the component with your label on it for it to happen to be why it's working. So to speak, if I were, and I use the unit, all unit, none, one, synthesizer, not an equalizer. And I do my version for the perfect, resonant, and according to the story sum behavior. If I were, and I'm promising with my pinky to clinical, we will thumb down. If I were to build a terrarium, as in sign off, and I need you to run it because it was one of the projects that I worked on. And I was the only one who could offer it. But I seized the opportunity to better our society and make that possible. Then I need every hashtag we can work together. Innocent, single person, place, net, all, any. And as one of those, one thing, that I need at any given time to perform at my best, or as in for her, from her, through him, by her, such as to say I am Wyatt, letter Y, Wyatt's helping, then I need you to make sure you are available. Sincerely, Violate425@mail.com.